Spa-Francorchamps, the crown jewel of circuits, was buzzing with anticipation. The sun shone. The crowd roared, but Lewis Hamilton faced his toughest challenge yet in a Ferrari. Dead last on the grid after a catastrophic qualifying, many had written him off. The car was unresponsive, the team had overlooked his pleas, and everything screamed disaster. Yet, what happened next defied every expectation. Tire smoke, daring overtakes, and masterful strategy transformed despair into pure magic. Fans held their breath as Hamilton carved through the field, lap by lap. By the checkered flag, the impossible had happened, leaving Ferrari speechless. This was not the result of luck or random circumstances. It was the result of a calculated, deliberate, and deeply personal message from Lewis Hamilton to his own team. It was a demonstration of what could have been possible all along, if only his input had been taken seriously. And the story of how it all happened begins with a weekend that seemed doomed from the start. From the opening laps in free practice, Hamilton had been warning the team. Something was wrong. The SF25 was behaving unpredictably, snapping mid-corner, offering no grip on entry, and lacking any confidence under throttle. The cause, as later confirmed by insiders, was a new, untested component believed to be part of a revised suspension floor interaction system that Ferrari had fitted without proper validation. The numbers in the data sheets might have looked promising, but the feeling in the cockpit told a different story. Instead of addressing his concerns, Ferrari pressed on with their plan, making decisions without what technical experts call full correlation between data and driver feel. Qualifying was a disaster. Hamilton was eliminated in Q1, one of the lowest points of his time in a Ferrari. The balance of the car had been completely destroyed by the new component, and his frustration was evident. But the final insult came just before the race, a forced pit lane start, ensuring he would begin the Belgian Grand Prix from the very back of the grid. At that moment, most drivers would have accepted defeat, settling for a quiet afternoon of damage limitation. But Lewis Hamilton is not most drivers. Behind the scenes, Ferrari engineers worked through the night. They removed the problematic component. Ride height was readjusted. Rear damping was softened. The aero map was altered to provide more stability on corner entry. By Sunday morning, the SF25 was still far from perfect, but it was no longer actively fighting its driver. For Hamilton, this was the first sign that the team was finally listening. What happened next turned a potential embarrassment into one of the most talked about performances of the season. From the moment the lights went out, Hamilton began a methodical, relentless march through the field. According to race analysis, this was not wild aggression, it was precision. Through Eau Rouge and onto the Kemmel Straight, he claimed the inside line again and again. Through Blanchimont, he carried speed where others hesitated. Out of the bus stop chicane, his exits were clean, clinical, and untouchable. Each move looked as though it had been rehearsed in his mind the night before, calculated to perfection. Meanwhile, something unusual was happening on the Ferrari radio. Normally a hive of constant chatter, with strategic suggestions and pace updates, it was strangely quiet. No overcomplication, no aggressive directives. The team wasn't leading him, they were watching him, and they seemed unsure of what to say. By lap 20, Hamilton was already hunting down the points-paying positions. Around him, others faltered. Carlos Sainz was penalized for weaving. Lance Stroll made clumsy defensive moves, and Yuki Tsunoda became involved in wheel-banging incidents. But Hamilton was untouchable, gliding past opponents with clinical efficiency. When he finally broke into 7th place, a shift occurred. The team began to provide split times and cautious updates, as if they could no longer ignore the reality of what was unfolding. Yet even at the checkered flag, there were no loud congratulations, no celebratory radio messages, just quiet disbelief. In that silence lay the truth. They knew what they had just witnessed. After the race, Hamilton was calm and composed. He thanked the team for the changes, acknowledged the car felt more drivable. But anyone listening closely could hear the unspoken message. This is what could have been all season if you had listened from the start. The Belgian Grand Prix wasn't simply a fight back, it was a statement. He had taken one of the most broken weekends of the year and turned it into a reminder of exactly Who he is. Inside Ferrari, the questions started to mount. Why had it taken a qualifying disaster to finally trust their driver's feedback? Why were technical decisions being made without fully aligning driver feel with engineering data? And the most pressing question, if Hamilton can do this with a compromised car, what happens when they give him one capable of fighting at the very front? In interviews, Hamilton compared the experience to his early go-karting days, the thrill of cutting through the field, racing purely on instinct and skill. But analysts noted this wasn't just nostalgia. It was a calculated reminder to everyone in the paddock that when the machinery even partially meets his needs, Lewis Hamilton remains one of the deadliest competitors in Formula One. This wasn't merely damage control. It was a warning shot. Fans understood exactly what they were seeing. As his comeback progressed, social media exploded with praise. By the end of the day, Hamilton had been voted Driver of the Day, recognition of a performance built on patience, racecraft, and sheer determination. He hadn't won the race, he hadn't stood on the podium, but he had done something equally powerful. He had made the entire grid remember that he is not here to fade quietly into retirement. For Ferrari, the implications of Spa-Francorchamps are enormous. The Belgian Grand Prix was more than just another race, it was proof of what's possible when a car stops working against its driver and starts working with him. For Lewis Hamilton, it wasn't about luck, strategy, or mechanical miracles. It was about raw skill, determination, and an unyielding will to extract every ounce of performance from machinery that seemed destined to betray him. Yet, while the weekend showcased what Hamilton can achieve, it also laid bare the bigger challenge for Ferrari. Can they consistently deliver a car capable of matching their driver's brilliance? Can they finally learn to trust a driver whose career has been defined by moments that change races and sometimes seasons? Hamilton didn't make headlines with public complaints or media drama. He didn't call out his team or demand instant changes. Instead, he let his actions speak louder than words, slicing through the field lap by lap, overtaking with precision, timing, and fearlessness. By the checkered flag, he hadn't just climbed positions, he had sent a clear message: greatness isn't optional, it's expected when you sit behind the wheel of a 7-time world champion. The silence from Ferrari after the race wasn't confusion, it was acknowledgement. They knew exactly what had unfolded before their eyes: a master, still at the peak of his craft, still capable of brilliance, still hungry and undeniably dangerous. Spa wasn't just a race, it was a mirror, reflecting both Hamilton's genius and the limitations of the team around him. The story of Spa-Francorchamps will linger in memory, not because it ended in victory, but because it marked a turning point. It was the weekend a driver reminded his team, rivals, and fans that even in adversity, true greatness shines. And now the question looms larger than ever: if Ferrari finally gets it right, what could Hamilton achieve next? The answer could define the rest of the season and perhaps the future of the team itself. Was Hamilton sending a clear message to Ferrari? Will they finally listen? One thing's certain, this season is just heating up, and Spa might be only the beginning. If you love this insane comeback, like, share, and subscribe for more epic F1 moments you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching.